Every so often, I get a comment that touches on a topic that I want to make a video on, but for one reason or another, I just haven't. Maybe it's because at the time I hadn't formulated the thoughts properly, or it was a one off occurrence. And the other day, I got a comment that I want to make an entire video on because it kind of explains a lot about why we use spirits in the occult. Why use demons at all if you can just cast a spell? Example, why would I go through the trouble of evoking and binding a demon to heal someone or myself if I can just use healing magic? It sounds like a lot of trouble to go through if you can just cast a spell. Aren't we magicians? We don't need demons when we ourselves are divine and magical. Also, not putting anyone down, just a genuine argument. And that is a good argument. That is a genuinely very strong argument. And I want to cover this argument and expand it into spirits entirely. So, I am Dave the Amateur Magus. On this channel I talk all about the mechanics behind ceremonial magic, occultism, esotericism, and the mechanics behind everything you can find within a dusty old grimoire. If you enjoy what I do here and you want to support the channel, link in the description of the Patreon. I also offer astrology readings and occult consultations for people wanting to get some guidance on their spiritual practice, because people have been asking me more frequently if I do coaching. This is the closest thing I do to coaching, unless you're in the $100 Patreon tier. So, if any of that sounds of interest to you, in the description, all the info you need, Patreon, and the email to contact me, or you can contact me for the consultations on social media. So, why would you contact a spirit, or a demon for that matter, at all, if you can cast a healing spell or any kind of spell? Well, because sometimes it's easier to get somebody else to work on you than it is to actually do your own work. Hypothetically, you need some kind of surgery. You're probably going to want to go to a doctor rather than trying to work on yourself. This is one of the reasons why it is said that healing magic is best done on other people. It is because it is very difficult to do magic to heal yourself because you are directly involved with any and all of the healing process. Now, hypothetically, you're doing something that's a little bit less extreme. Maybe you're not doing health magic, maybe you're doing love magic, and you want to use a spirit because, similar to health, if you have to do the magic yourself, you're going to be thinking about it constantly, and it's not going to manifest until you least expect it. That's just how magic works. It is lust for results. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to a love spirit. Preferably one, related to, maybe you're going to Aphrodite or just Venus, the Roman version. One of those spirits. You're going to some form of love goddess. And that particular love goddess goes ahead and she decides to go and bless you with love because you've asked her and you've petitioned her, and she gives you exactly what you want. Well, you don't have to actually think about it. You don't have to worry about any of the magical logistics, so to speak, of that manifestation. You don't need to even get it out of your head. Sometimes my favorite ingredient to a love spell is actually binding yourself from remembering you did a love spell in the first place. Now, depending on how much energy you put into that love spell, you're obviously going to have some problems there because you need to bind the idea and you need to bind those thoughts from your head. And I have found that depending on how much energy you put into a spell, it makes it a lot more difficult. Sometimes you can't forget that you did that spell for months, if not years, if you don't do magic constantly. Which is a big part of why you end up going to spirits in the first place. Now, why would you go to demons? Now, demons are an interesting case because demons require some amount of authority or skill in order to actually get to work for you. And the reason why is because they are rebellious spirits. They just are. That's just what they are. Demon, the word demon, I believe literally translates to rebellious spirit. So if you're going to be working with demons, you're going to want to have some way of controlling the rebellious spirit, especially if he's going to do something like, work on your health, work on your money situation, work on your car, etc. But if you do actually have that authority and the ability to command the demonic spirits without them being a massive pain in the ass, like let's say you finished the Abramelin and you've gotten the demon lords to swear fealty to you. Well, no demon is going to kind of try to mess with you because you will just pull rank and call their boss on them, and their boss will slap them in front of you. Or their boss will send a spirit that has the authority to slap them for you, and that is part of the Abramelin Oaths as well. But when you are going through and you are calling up these spirits, this is why in the Agrippa, the way that most people will work with Agrippa's spirits, the planetary intelligences and the daemons, is that they will call up the intelligence and then they will call up the daemons, so the spirit of the planetaries won't cause any problems, right? Before this, there was a lot of, in methods I saw people using before they started calling up the intelligence and the spirit from Agrippa, it was very common that the spirit would give you a bunch of problems to the point where people actively called them the demon. This was a mistranslation of the word daemon, because it's supposed to be the spirit of the planet. People called it the demon of the planet, and the spirits of the planetaries are hostile and rebellious oftentimes. They function very much like demons, unless you pull the intelligence of the planetary in order to get things to work. Now, there is also an aspect of this that I would like to mention, and that is the reason I wanted to make this video, and that is, sometimes spirits can do things that you can't. And sometimes the measure of a magician, so to speak, is not who they are, it is who you know. If you have a good relationship with gods and goddesses of magic, your magic is going to be better. It's just going to be. If you have really good relationships with the spirits of magic and the, powers of money, right? Money will flow to you better. If you have better luck with the spirits of love, love is going to flow to you better. This is part of the power of a magician. Connections, relationships. If you have relationships with these particular spirits, you are going to be able to call up these spirits, and they are going to be able to assist you. The example that I like to use is the goddess Hecate. One point, somebody asked me, hey, what spirit do I go to for divination advice? And I said, you go to Hecate. Okay, cool. What do I go to for dream work? You go to Hecate. And I proceeded to just reply with Hecate as the answer. And they had a moment of clarity and they go, wait, doesn't that mean you should just go to Hecate for all magic-related questions? Unless you have a better spirit in mind? Yes. This is part of the nature of these relationships. You build up the relationships with these spirits, and then those spirits will help you out when you need them to. This is why in initiations you should be developing your relationships with spirits so that you know them and you can develop your relationship with them. However, when it comes to big name spirits like the Goetics, the Archangels, the pagan gods, you're going to want to develop personal relationships with them so that you can interact with them in a more meaningful way. This is why devotional practices to particular gods are important. This is why people set up particular altar setups for different gods and energies and particular planetaries. This is also the reason why people put so much emphasis on getting the knowledge and conversation of your holy guardian angel in the occult, because, people think that, getting the knowledge and conversation is the most important thing you can do, in error. But what that actually does allow you to do is it kind of magically boosts you to a level of proficiency to where a lot of your problems are going to be resolved. You're going to be put on the path that is going to cause you to engage with spirits that you should be engaging with, and it is going to cause you to work with the energies and the powers that you need to be working with for your long-term magical success, and just success in general, because one of the things that people don't seem to understand is that the Holy Guardian Angel, after you get the knowledge and conversation of your Holy Guardian Angel, for all intents and purposes, that is the only spirit that you need to deal with blocking your manifestations other than you. I mean, you can block your own manifestations by shooting yourself in the foot with lust for results, but your Holy Guardian Angel is also able to stop manifestations if you're casting for something that is objectively bad for you. I've done this in the past. I've done this in the past quite frequently, and my holy guardian angel every so often will pop in and go, you know that's not going through, right? And I will just kind of go, yeah, but I'm going to try it anyways, and then I will waste my time. The holy guardian angel, after a certain point, becomes the only thing that can stop you. This is why you need to be on good terms with your holy guardian angel, because your holy guardian angel does know what is best for your development. And this is why you get in contact with them. Your holy guardian angel will point you towards the spirits that are best for you to work with. And it also makes it so that after you get in contact with your holy guardian angel, if you get hard contact with the HGA, you end up just binding the demons so you can work with demons. That's just how that works. It really is the reason why Western ceremonial magic focuses so much on the, oh yes, let's call up a spirit for this, is because, one, it is you don't want to be working on something that you don't have the actual knowledge for. If you don't know how a car engine works, you don't want to fix it. You're going to pay someone to fix it. That's what a mechanic is for. Same thing with spirits. Two, it is a case of sometimes it is better for another spirit to work on things than it is for the actual magician. This is actually part of the reason why you work with the demons in the Arbor Melon, is because you send the demons out, the demons are no longer messing with you, they're doing what you want them to do, and now, all of a sudden, you have the ability to actually go focus on the important things. And finally, there is a case for you are who you know. Your power is directly related to who you know and who you have good relationships with, right? If you have powerful spirits working for you and on your side, right? Maybe not, pagan gods aren't going to be working for you, but they might work with you. You're going to end up finding that your ability to do things is going to be a lot stronger than it would be if you didn't have those abilities. So yeah, I have been Dave the Amateur Magus. Hope this answered that question completely. Hope everyone is having a good day. If you're not having a good day, hope your day gets better. Take it easy. Take care.